Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Tower Heroes tier list that, everybody always agrees with. So today, we're going to be working on tier list of their attack animations. So this is kind of specific, so we're going to go over a few rules really quick. So here they are. So number one, they're all based on their level 5 animations, just because, let's be honest here, what level 1 animation is cool? Right? So anyways, also, a lot of other things come into account when ranking, so, for example, Branch, right? His level 5 attack is just him sticking his arm out, right? But we're also going to count, the branch coming out of the ground, right? Because that's technically a part of its attack animation. So all that kind of comes into play. Also, just kind of, is it unique? Is it cool? All that good stuff. So, yeah, let's just begin. So first off, we have Balloon Pal. Hold on a second. There we go. So now we have a group for no attack animation. Alright, so now we have Bebo. So Bebo's pretty cool, right? He rides a literal moon and shoots ice creams. I mean, who can't love that? Oh, and by the way, one rule I forgot to mention, these are all based on their default skins, so no any other skins come into play, just their default skin. So for example, if I counted the one where he rides the sun, that would make him a lot higher. However, we're going off the default, which is where he rides it's actually not a moon technically, it's like a planet. Whatever, it's still really sick. He goes right into A tier. Next up we have Beatrice. So Beatrice usually gets hated on because, and honestly, she kind of does have a bad attack animation. I mean, she just spins her wand around or something, and then bees appear, and then the bees don't even have an attack animation actually. They just kind of go around the enemy and then they die somehow. They don't even sting them. So I actually don't know how they die. Anyway, she gets C tier, I guess. Now Branch. Branch is sick, okay? Honestly. Does Branch go into S tier? I feel like Branch goes into A+, right? Because as I explained, he sticks his arms out, which isn't really that cool. But then he summons branches from the ground, which is pretty cool. I think he goes into A, in the middle of A and S tier, Next up, we have Bunny. This goes right into S tier. I don't care what you say. Bunny shoots a literal rocket. Was it rocket launcher? Yeah. How can you not put that into S tier? That's just amazing. Next up, we have Bite. So Bite stuns people with a. Actually, I don't really know what that is. It's not even like a tail. It's it's not even an electric. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty cool. I'll put it in probably C tier. It's not really that cool, I guess. Next up, we have Chef. So Chef just kind of hits them with the mallet now, which is pretty cool. Granted, so I'll put them at I'll put him at B tier, I guess. He has a pretty cool attack animation. Discount all goes straight into no attack animation. And now Dumpster Child. See, yeah, I mean, to be fair, he's in a radioactive tank, which is pretty cool. So that bumps him up a little bit. He would have just been in D tier, but now I feel like he goes high C tier, because he just kind of opens his mouth and breathes radioactive, whatever radioactive waste or something. I don't know. So I guess it's pretty cool, high C tier probably though. Next up we have Fracture. So okay, Fracture, I don't care what you say, straight into S tier, okay? Fracture is so sick at level 5. He summons a whole castle beneath him with gemstones flying behind him, and he throws them onto enemies. It's honestly so cool, and it's just amazing, honestly. Right into S tier. Haze, again, is like Beatrice. He's cool looking, but he just summons crows. He's even worse than Beatrice. He just hops. He doesn't even twirl around or anything. He just hops, and then I think that, he just hops, and then crows just appear out of nowhere, and the crows don't even do an attack animation. They just fly around the enemy. that goes right into D tier. Though there's no F tier because, you know, yeah, you got to appreciate. At least I put some effort into these animations, so I don't want to give into F tier on any of these. Now, Hot Dog Frank. I think Hot Dog Frank goes into B tier, maybe A tier. It's like high B tier because he gets a corn dog, I think, and he just spins around, which it doesn't really sound that cool, but I mean. Let's be honest here, it's pretty funny, which bumps it up a lot, you know, so he probably goes into, high B tier. So next up, we have Jester, and Jester goes right into S tier, maybe a little bit of personal bias here, because when I began playing the game, I joined, a little bit after I began playing the game, because I got into a server of Frantic Forest. It might have been casual mode, though, I don't really remember, but I remember seeing level 5 Jester, and just going crazy because it looked so cool. I knew I had to get it, and honestly, I don't know, like a bunch of this other stuff happened, you know, a bunch of other things like that happened, but if something like that didn't happen, I probably wouldn't be making as much Tower Heroes content as I do, just because it wouldn't have got me into the game. And honestly, that actually might go into A tier. No, I'm kidding. Okay, he goes right into S tier. And actually, on its own, it is a very cool animation. He spins a wheel. It doesn't sound that cool, but, he looks really cool. And, it's just very sick, I gotta say. So, Kartkin actually used to have an attack animation. I don't think we count the invincibility. Actually, technically, the invincibility goes into this. So, we're gonna be counting his old attack animation and the invincibility. So, if you don't know, his old attack animation was that he used to be able to throw spikes at other enemies, which was very cool. Then they got rid of it. So that goes into C tier, maybe B tier. But then the invincibility, that is sick. So that goes right into B tier. Actually, no, A tier. Honestly. Keith, honestly, who even uses Keith? Let's be honest here. I haven't seen anybody ever use Keith. Although honestly, probably less people use Beatrice than Keith, honestly. So, whatever. Anyways, his attack animation is kind of cool, I guess. He just throws a boomerang. Not that cool. D tier, honestly. Lemonade Cat has no attack animation unless you count the little arm wave after she makes a profit. Really? So now we have... Oh, okay. So, before I begin with this character, I have to say, I pronounce it my take, okay? I don't care what you say. I know it's my talkie, but my take to me sounds way better to say, so I'm just gonna say my take. So my take, has a pretty cool attack animation. How do I even explain? You know what I'm talking about. She sounds like a puff of poison and just attacks all the enemies. It's very cool, honestly. So my take gets put right into B tier, I would say. High B tier, probably. Not A tier, but definitely high B tier, you know? Oddport. So Oddport has technically 5 attack animations. One for Oddport, one for the other characters. But, yeah, so Oddport level 5 has all of them. And honestly, I don't really know all of them, but I assume that they are very good. So I'm just gonna put it into B tier probably. Even if it is good, I don't really remember all the attack animations because I never really looked at Oddport that much. I mean, I just kind of knew they did something. So I guess they just go into B tier by default. Scientist goes into S tier. Dude, Scientist has a literal laser gun. That's at level 4. She has a ginormous laser gun at level 5 and just shoots it at enemies. And it's insane, honestly. It's so cool. And yeah, it's a lot of you they've been used to it so much that it just goes over the head. They don't understand how cool that is. Come on, that is such a sick attack animation. So now we have Slime King, right? He doesn't really have an attack animation, right? I mean, whenever he technically summons a slime, his crown flips, which is technically an animation. But I don't know if we count it because Lemonade Cat technically has an attack animation, but she doesn't attack, and it's not really an attack animation. So I don't know. I don't know if we should put this at this, but even if it wasn't, that would probably go into like D tier. But I guess we'll just put it there, I guess. Next up, you have Soda Pop. Soda Pop just throws soda at enemies. It's pretty cool, I guess. So he goes into like B tier, I guess. No, probably C tier actually. It's not that crazy. Sparks Kilowatt goes into A tier, dude. She shoots. Alright, first of all, she shoots off bullets, I think. And then she shoots off rockets, which is the best part. Sadly, does not do splash damage, even though it should, but that wouldn't matter to this list anyways. But, yeah, it's a very cool attack animation, I have to say. Especially for Sparks Kilowatt. Like, out of all the characters, Sparks Kilowatt, that's just amazing, honestly. Now you have Spectre. Spectre doesn't have an attack animation. Unless you count him, like, playing the guitar, in which case I guess it would go into C tier. But, yeah, we're just gonna put into no attack animation. Next up, we have Stella. So Stella just she doesn't actually draw stuff, actually. Like, a lot of people are like, oh my god, Stella draws stuff. But in reality, she just hits the ground with a paintbrush and they just appear. Like, I don't know what kind of level of artistic skill you have to have, but that's pretty cool. So that goes into C tier. Now, well, if we're counting the drawings too, then that goes into, like, C tier then, probably. Maybe high C tier, almost B tier. I don't know. It's either C tier or B tier. You guys decide. I don't care. Next up, we have Voka. Voka. Oh, I think that goes into A tier. She shoots a giant firework from her head, and the firework actually explodes, which is pretty cool, and I like it a lot, you know. So she goes into A tier. Now we have Volt. Dude, Volt can't catch a break, I swear. Volt is gonna... Oh my, I hate doing this to him, but all he does is spin around. I guess technically the electricity is pretty cool, so I think that goes into C tier. Ladies and gentlemen, he's not in the bottom tier. Let's go. This is the only time you're actually ever gonna see this. That's not an April Fool's joke, you know. Anyways, we have Wafer. So Wafer actually has 2 attack animations, and Wafer I hate the most, not because of Wafer himself, but because of a giant misconception that everybody thinks of Wafer. So the misconception is that Wafer deals RNG damage. He doesn't actually, you know, it doesn't matter, he's always RNG. But actually, it's a different story. He actually does more damage depending on how close the enemy is, which is why when they're up close, he hits them with a hammer instead of shooting an ornament out of his hammer. Which is why I think I gotta give him the A tier for that. They could have just made it go higher and still made him shoot out ornaments. But no, they went through the struggle, probably not struggle, but they still went through the effort to make a completely different attack animation just for that. And that's why he goes into A tier. Now we got Wizard. He literally just shoots out some, like, magic stuff. So, I mean, I get, like, a spell, I guess. I mean, it's alright, like, C tier, I guess. Next up, we have Yasuke. He's pretty cool. He just kind of slashes a sword, though. I mean, even level 5, you know, with all the armor and stuff. You know, also, I don't think abilities really count for this tier list, so we're not going to be counting Dragon's Breath. So, yeah, not really. Actually, no, yeah, C tier probably. It's more effort than Hayes. Actually, I'm gonna put Keith into C tier. Hayes just straight up has no animation. Like, that's, I mean, technically, then I should put him in no attack animation, but, like, he technically does, right? Because, you know, Crows too technically have an attack animation. Then why is it so bad? Like, Hayes is such a cool character. He should definitely have a very cool attack animation. Anyways, short rant aside, next we have Lur, which I think Lur basically has the same as, like, well, no, technically, because, you know, Lur just kind of, like, literally sucks the soul out of the enemies, and, you know, that's pretty cool, you know, especially with Lur getting, like, bigger each upgrade, and, like, yeah, at the end, just straight up comes out of the armor, and just, it's pretty cool, honestly. So I think lore goes into B tier, probably. And next up, we have maybe the most boring attack animation out of all of these. Maybe not Haze, because he just jumps up and the crows circle around the enemies. He just shoots a bow, which technically is like the same thing as like half these characters in C tier, but something about that, like this guy has like the coolest character design for level 5, and he just shoots a bow. Granted, the bow looks cool, but like, come on, man. Like, really? Anyways, that's it for the tier list, everybody. Thank you all for watching the tier list. You can go disagree with this, because I know you guys are going to disagree. I don't even mean that's like an offense or anything. It's just like, it's like guaranteed by this point. So, you can go comment your disagreements with this. I may or may not respond to them, probably not. But, you know, I will see you guys next time, and toodles.